everyone, welcome back. As part of our previous video, which is real time application series, we have defined the relationship in our CDS view with our table. So, this is the table we have created. In this table, we have introduced the key fields and we have maintained the association in our CDS view. But if we simply do the association, it won't work. We have to update the data inside the table. If we try to update the data using the normal update syntax, it won't work because it will give the dumps. So we have to follow another way. So the another way is, so this is the table. I'm doing the right click and click on this generate ABAP repository objects, and this is OData UI service. Click on next. Okay, don't have the administration fields. That's why it is giving the error. Let us go to the table. We should have local changed by and all. I have copied it before only. Let me paste it over here and activate the table. Now our table got activated. Now let us generate the repository objects. It is asking for the package. I will be using the local object only. Now here if you observe, we can change the names here. Project name we can change, and this is the business object data model. It is generated one by the RAP framework. If you want, you can change that one. Whatever the naming convention we want, we can change that. I can give like this. It will allow you to change. But since I'm not following any specific naming convention, I'm not changing it. I'm clicking on next. And these are the things which will be generated. So we have the service definition unbinding, database tables, and the metadata extension, behavior definition. All these things will be generated. So it is nothing but creating the another viewer to store the data. So if you observe, we are getting the messages generating artifacts. Once it got generated successfully, we will be getting the messages that it got generated. If you have any errors, it will display the error message. So it is saying that it has generated the artifact successfully. Do you want to open the object? Yes, open. So this is the service binding, and I'm clicking on publish. Okay, it won't allow you. We have to publish this using the T code whatever we have done earlier. So we will be doing that one. We have already known using the T code in SAP GUI. We will be doing the publish. So once my service got published, I will be able to view that. So let me publish this one before. We are here in this T code, which is V for admin. So let me take the service binding name from here, and we have to click on this publish service groups. System alias will be local, and publish. So we have the service binding published. If we just refresh, it is published. We can preview it. So this is how it is looking. We have all the fields, whatever we have mentioned in the table. And as of now, we don't have any record. If you observe here, I was telling that we don't have the edit option in the main screen. We have only create and delete as of now. Maybe once one of the record is inserted, I will show you where the edit is there. So let us now go here, and we have to write the code for modifying the table or for inserting a new record in the table. So for that we have to read the data from the BO whatever we have created. Read entities of. So what is the BO we have created? It will be there. This is the one. Z or DB underscore table, and this won't be in the local mode since we are reading some other BO. We can read the specific fields if we want, or else we can read all fields. I'm reading all fields. Result data lt underscore upd data. So we have read the data. So once reading the data, we have to see, like, if I'm just reading that, if I just use this syntax for reading the data from the viewer, as of now, since we don't have any record, it will be empty. So I'm checking if the data is initial, we have to do the create operation, else we have to go with the update operation. Like that, we have to write the code. Since we have used this corresponding as keys, so whatever the record we have selected, it will be checking in our BO with that key fields data we have the record or not. It's not it's not checking, like even if you have some random data it won't fetch because we are using corresponding hash of keys. So whatever the record we have selected, that particular related data is there or not, it will check. So if the data is not there, we have to do the create operation, modify entities of CRDB table entity, create fields. So whatever the fields we need to create, we can mention here. So we want sales order and item, and this calculated quantity, and then VRKME we can pass if we need, and enter number. Okay, the name, I think it is different. We don't have underscore in between. Since it is create operation, we have to use the CID. So I'm using autofill CID. We have to pass the values for the create operation. So sales order, I have the data in my ls underscore data. This is my sales order. And similar way, we have to pass the data for each and every field. It is there in the item. And then we have calculated quantity. This one is the calculated field. So calculated quantity which is stored in the variable. So we are using that variable, and VRKME we can pass if we want. This will be the one which will have in the ls data, because we won't be changing the unit, we will be just calculating the quantity. And then enter number, we will be having it in variable enter number. So we have passed all the fields here. So we have to fill the mapped and failed and reported. And failed. So if you want to pass any message here after creating the entry, we can do that. How you can do that means, I will just write the code but I won't pass any message. We have the percentage message and new message. Here we have with the text and new message. Normally we will be using this one only, new message. So we have the ID here. We have to pass the message ID and message number. CVRT we can pass using the if abap behave interface. And these are optional parameters v1, v2, v3, v4. If we don't want to pass, we can ignore these ones. I'm not passing the message as of now. If you want, you can pass. I'm just removing it. You can give the message as data quantities updated successfully or data inserted, something like that. Now, in the else condition, we have to do the update operation. So, what we will do, we will be just copying the same thing and I will modify this one only. So, here it is not create, it is update. In update fields, if we have already data, we don't need to update the key fields. So I will be removing this sales order and item, and this VRKM is also not needed. We just need to update the quantity and the number, and we will be passing. We don't need sales order and the item. Okay, I will be keeping the sales order and item because to which record I have to update, I wanted to know. That's why I will be keeping that. And I will be using the same ones whatever I have declared before. So I'm using the mapped only. Sorry, I'm removing the data. You can use final keyword also here, but you can't use that variables again if you use final keyword. Those things I have already explained in the wrap playlist. You can go and watch there. So we can append the message here also if you want, but I'm not going to do anything and I'm activating this one. Now let us put the breakpoint. Okay, we have the breakpoint. Let me read. Let us open this service binding and preview the service once. Okay, I'm clicking on go. So we have the data. Now I'm selecting one record and clicking on this number and I'm entering 5. Since we have the breakpoint, it will trigger. So now we have seen how the read entities and how the number will come. So the entered number is 5, so it should be 5 in this variable. So we have the number as 5. If you just double click on this one, the variables will come up here, or else place the cursor over here. You will be getting the pop up like this thing, and you will be able to see the value for that particular variable. And we have the data in the LT data also, whatever the selected record we have, that one it came up, and we will be getting the data here and calculated quantity. Until this point we have seen. So now the calculated quantity is 1, and we are reading the BO, which is another BO, and obviously it will be initial. We don't have any data, and we will be creating the data. So if you answer LT failed is 0, LT mapped is 1, that means you have the data present. And I'm clicking on F8 and go here. If you observe, the calculated quantity is still 0. If you go here, if I click on go, we have one record, which is quantity, item, sales order, and this enter number. But here we don't have the data, not updated. I will be refreshing the application. Let us see if it comes after refreshing or not. I'm clicking on go. The first record we have selected, now it is coming. So if we do refresh, then only it is working. Let me close this one and go to our behavior definition. So let me, this is our behavior definition. No, this is the behavior projection. This is the behavior definition. Here we have created this action with the parameter and there is no result. If we just refresh, then only the data is reflecting. So what we have to do means we have to use the side effects to refresh the data. So the side effects will help you to update the data even if you are not refreshing. So after this action, I will use side effects, and then for action I have to use the side effects. So for action, enter number, and it should affect the field. Spelling mistake. And what is the field name? Enter number, comma, field, calculate quantity. These are the two fields which should be affected when I am working with the action enter number. Calculate quantity. Okay. QUANTITY. Let me activate this one. Now I will select the same sales order, and instead of 5 I will be giving 3. Enter number, and the debugger got triggered, we already know. Now I will just go here. Now the calculated quantity is 0. After reading the read entities, we have one record because for this particular key we have already record updated. So it will go to the update, and lt mapped got, okay, it is still 0, and reported is 0, and lt failed is also 0. Okay, let us see why it is 0. Let us see if it updates or not. F8, still it is not updated even if I use side effects. I have refreshed it, click on go, but here after refreshing it is updating somehow. Enter number, it is 3, and calculated quantity 0. If we just click on go again here, here it got updated. But even after using the side effects, it is not at all refreshing on the go without clicking on refresh button manually. So for that purpose we have to do the mapping in our behavior definition. So here I have to map the data to my table. Mapping for ZDB underscore table. So while doing the mapping, we have to map it with the field names in the serious entity will be on the left side, and from the table it will be on the right side. So this is my field sales order, and for item I think it is same as item. Let me copy it from the table. And finally we have enter number, I believe. Enter number. We can map the VRKME also if we want. And from the CDS view level, sales order item, and we don't need material. This is order quantity. Okay, this is the projection view. Okay, that's fine. I just need fields only. And here, this is the field name. And finally, enter number. And let us close this one and close the main. Yeah, now it is perfect. I'm activating this one. So this got activated now. Now let us refresh the application, and I'm clicking on go and selecting the number. Now I will give 7 or maybe 10 I will give, and the debugger will trigger. So the same story will happen now also. Our calculated quantity, it will be 1, and we have the record already present. Yes, we know that. And it will just modify the data. And clicking on F8. Okay, it got terminated, but still we don't have the data refreshment here. If I just click on go, okay, it got updated here, but here it is not refreshing. If I click on refresh, okay, now it is refreshing. Even if I use side effects, it is not. Action enter number affects field, enter number. Okay, it should affect the field enter number. Okay, I have replaced the names of the parameters to see if that is the issue. Now I'm selecting the record and give some number. Now this is my calculated quantity. Clicking on F8. Okay. For some reason, it is not updating on the go, even if we are using the side effects. I have my side effects present and I have the mapping, and in my interface view I have the data from the table only, and all the things are in place. Okay, let me see what is the issue, because this is how the things should work. Maybe I'm guessing like the system whatever I'm using, that is the demo system which is of lower version, where side effects won't won't be cannot be used, something like that, because I have done the same thing in my application which is in the higher version system that is working. I will just see if anything is missing, or else this is the same procedure we have to use. If you observe here, it is updating the data in your another PO, and here also we have the data getting updated, but it is working on refreshing. That means it is side effects are not working. You can use the result $1 of self also, like that, but it will be navigating to the object piece. We will be seeing that as well. Maybe I will just show you how that works. That will refreshes the data on the same go, but it will navigate to the object base if you have any object base. So this is about today's video, and we have covered how can we update the data, and we have seen the side effects. Maybe I will recheck if there is anything missing in the side effects. I believe no, but this is how the concept of side effects will work, and we will create one object base for this application in our next video, and we will see how the result $1 of self will works. And we have some other syntaxes, like some other things we have to cover, like how to create the delivery, like how can we use the BAPI inside the action in an unmanaged implementation, how to display the report header and navigation and all. So we will be in particular to navigation. If you use some of the annotation, it will add the button in your front end page, like it will create the button. But if you use some other annotation, it is just a matter of value. If you use some other value in the annotation, it won't create button, but if you use some other annotation, you will be getting the hyperlink for your field. So apart from the hyperlink for your field, we will be getting the action. That's how it will work. Based on the annotation value we are giving, the navigation will be working in different ways. So we have covered how we can enter the value for a field. So when I say value, like if you observe here, we have create and delete functionality available, but if we go inside, then only we have the edit functionality available. So that is what I meant to say when I am starting this real time application. You don't have the edit option directly available here, so that's why we have created an action with a parameter so that it can accept the values. And one more thing is, if you are working with vodata v4 service, you don't have the edit option available until unless you have the create and delete available. So if you want just an application to update the data but you don't want create and delete, then you won't be seeing the edit option available in your object base. As of now we don't have the object base. I will create the object base in our next video, and we will be seeing like we will be getting that edit or not. I have already checked that we don't get the edit option. So maybe if you have the concept, like maybe we can just click on edit and you can enter the value, that is not possible if you are mainly working with vodata v4. You have, if you have the multiple check if you have the facility to select multiple records, then you have to go with vodata v4 mainly, because in vodata v2 we will be getting the radio buttons, so you can select only one record at a time. And coming to the next one, how we can update the data. This one we have seen by using the another viewer using the generate repository objects, and we have done the calculation since we have the parameter in the from the parameter we got the data, and we have done the calculations using the value. And navigation we'll be seeing that, and how to call bapi, how to generate the bapi, and how can we call the commit since the commits are not allowed in rep. We will be seeing that. Theoretically we have seen on our previous videos, but practically we will be seeing that also. And how to get the multiple records inside action. So when I say multiple records, what does it mean means, if I select these two records and click on this enter number, and I will be giving some value. So here I'm getting only one record, first record into this structure. But if you observe keys, I have only one record, and this record is the sales order number ending with 8. So that is the first record, whatever we have selected. So the processing of these should end, then only the second record will come actually. So I'm just doing f6. So we have the read entities and the update, all the things happen, and we are going into the standard code. I will just keep on pressing f7 so that whenever we are coming with the second record, we have the track that we are getting the second record. All the standard code should finish the execution whatever is there on my left side. So once that is done, we will be getting the second record. So each record processing will takes happen separately, it will happen one by one. So now if you observe, okay, I don't have the keys, I will just enter keys. So again we have only one record, but here if you observe, that is the sales order with 15, ending with 15, that is the second record. So the second record is coming now. So that's how the processing will happen. So if you want to have the two records inside your action at the same time, we have the flexibility. How we can do that, we will be discussing in our next video. And report header we will be seeing in the next video. And for this, the ui person needs to do some fragments, custom fragments and all. So once we have the things available, we will be handing over to ui person, then they will be able to do that. And side effects we have seen, but somehow due to some system downgrade or the local package it is not working. But the same thing I have done in my application, it is working fine in different system. So you can try it in your real time systems. If it is not working, do let me know in the comment section. And in our next videos we will be covering up the remaining topics, and maybe we can go with the approach decider concept, like for which scenario we have to go with which type of approach, whether it is a custom entity or managed or unmanaged scenario. And we will be seeing the different ways of creating the custom entity, and we will be going with the key user extensibility things also. So if you have any topic in mind, please do let me know in the comment section. We will be covering up on our future videos. So I hope this video is clear for you. Please do like, share and subscribe to this channel for more interesting content. See you in the next video.